So now Dan Patrick, the lieutenant governor of Texas, who went up in front, spoke at a press conference the day of the shooting and said that the problem was doors. Too many doors is leading to these massacres. And then he shifted a little bit to some terra firma, as it were. I know there's the constituency for people who want to have less doors is just not that strong. I need to dig myself out of a hole. Oh, I know how I can do it. I'll cite abortion.
George, should we be surprised in this nation? We have devalued life, whether it's through abortion, whether it's the breakup of families, through violent movies, and particularly violent video games, which now outsell movies and music. Psychologists and psychiatrists will tell you that students are desensitized to violence, may have lost empathy for their victims by watching hours and hours of video violent games.
Yeah, I don't think they'll tell us that, frankly. They say may, but this is the same stuff we heard literally 30 years ago. Yes. I mean, literally 30 years ago.
Yeah, they need.
This is like throwback Thursdays.
Culture wars are back.
Exactly.
They need to update it.
And
Charismatic God.
Don't tell us what to do.
The idea that the problem is that folks are desensitized. So I guess the solution for Dan Patrick is to both get rid of doors in schools and get rid of video games. Right? I mean, is that it? Like
they'll get rid of DVA, doors, video games, and abortion.
Right.
That's my policy. If you don't take on the DVA, the big three, doors, video games, and abortion, this is going to keep happening.
Now, listen, we've just played a clip of Sean Hannity, who had more or less his plan to end these massacres in schools was functionally equivalent to seeing if you can get Peter Pan to come by and drop pixie dust on everything. I mean, just a complete joke. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick blaming everything from doors to video games. But we need someone to sort of bring it even a little bit more far afield. Well, of course, that's what the NRA is for. And here is Ollie North, incoming NRA chief, to blame something else other than, of course, access to guns.
The problem that we've got is we're trying, like the Dickens, to treat the symptom without treating the disease. And the disease in this case isn't the Second Amendment. The disease is youngsters who are steeped in a culture of violence. They've been drugged in many cases. Nearly all of these perpetrators are male, and they're young teenagers in most cases. And they've come through a culture where violence is commonplace. All we need to do is turn on a TV, go to a movie. If you look at what has happened to the young people, many of these young boys have been on Ritalin since they were in kindergarten. Now, I am certainly not a doctor, I'm a Marine, but I can see those kinds of things happening and endangering those two gals.
So let's get specific, because this was the 16th.
Yeah. Now, the fact of the matter is that he is saying, let's not treat the symptom. The symptom in his mind is the massacres. Let's not get rid of the massacres because that's missing the point of this. That's what he's saying. You know, like if you tell me that I have eczema and just the itchiness and the rash is simply a symptom of me having the eczema, so don't worry about the symptoms. Frankly, I'd be very happy just to get rid of the itchiness and the rashes. And if you tell me I still have eczema, that's fine. I'll slowly deal with that. But the bottom line is the idea of minimizing massacres of students and children and minimizing the terror that all those who were not killed feel as just being the symptom What we really need to do is fix the culture. That sounds like a project that's not going to go very far.
Well, it is a symptom, but symptoms can be really fucking bad.
Exactly.
And not to mention Oliver North is one to talk about a culture of violence in this country.
Just because he was funding death squads,
You
essentially?
mean because he took like $10 million from the Sultan of Brunei, as an example, to funnel money from Middle Eastern arms deals back to guys that actually literally massacred nuns. But look, he's a
No,
Marine,
it
he's not a
was
doctor.
ADHD medication.
No, it's a shame. It is a
seems more
shame because
plausible.
actually, I think like talking about overprescribing kids and stuff is a legitimate thing to talk about. But it's just these guys cheapen everything they touch.